Oh, what's up? Giving everyone a chance to get in here. I know we did one earlier today. Most people were here. We had actually really good numbers for it being like 8 a.m., 9 a.m., whatever it was. So I just wanted to run it again. Um, so I know a lot of people, for whatever reason, don't have all 22 access yet. Apparently, I'm one of the fortunate ones who does. So that's pretty sweet. I've been putting some clips on the timeline. Yeah, Trim, we were in here early this morning. It was about an hour and a half, I think. I do have it saved. I think I have the replay saved. Um, Maybe I'll just start like uploading those or some shit. So people who miss it can go back and watch. But so we have the snap count numbers here. Um, it looks like hi Roshi. It looks like a bunch of our defensive players played pretty much the full game or most of it. Logan Wilson, Dax Hill, Cam Taylor Britt, Von Bell, Geno Stone. I think 65 is the full game on defense. Jermaine Pratt played 63. BJ Hill led all defensive linemen with the most reps. Sam Hubbard had one more rep than Trey Hendrickson, which I know a lot of people like Sam Hubbard, Cincinnati kid, all that fun stuff. But Sam Hubbard in no way, shape, or form should be out snapping Trey Hendrickson. And 50 is just a lot for a guy who at this stage in his career is more of a rotational piece. Um, Let me see here. Let me pull playback over so I can actually see your guys' comments if anyone does comment. Um, Jamar, he had a lower amount of snaps. We didn't have a lot of reps at all. I mean, 51 is what we had on offense. Um, Yeah, and we'll watch that again. Sam Hubbard really struggled with his positional integrity against the run. He collapsed a lot, and he left our DBs in a one-on-one situation to make a tackle. And to be fair, they weren't doing it. So it's you know, defense is kind of like the levels. Like if you have a good defensive line, they can cover up for poor linebackers, and they can sometimes cover up for even poor DBs. Um, like but poor or really, really good DBs, they can't cover all day back there, and they're eventually going to get beat. And like defensive line, in my opinion, is probably the most important positional group in the entire NFL. Position D line, and then offensive lines right there. Like those are the two. It's getting to the quarterback and giving your quarterback time, and that's how you win a game. But so Jamar played 43 snaps. He said he had food poisoning. I don't know like if it was a negotiation tactic for him to say like I'm sick, I'm not going to play, and they kind of came up on their offer, or they came to some sort of agreement. But regardless, Andre Yosavash had more snaps than Jamar, so when we said we're easing him in, it looks like we meant that. Sheldon Rankins got 41. We just paid him $13 million. Jay Tufele only had 30, and in my honest opinion, Jay Tufele was probably the best defensive lineman we had. Um, Trey Hendrickson had a good day in terms of, the stats that don't really translate to much on the field, like pass rush win rates and pressures, which are totally subjective to whoever's grading them. But he logged 0 sacks. So he generated all that pressure, and it didn't matter. We weren't getting the quarterback to the ground. We weren't forcing him into turnovers. We forced him into incompletions, but again, like if you're going to disrupt a play, just disrupt it. Micah Parsons doesn't just settle for pressures. Myles Garrett doesn't just do pressures. You know, and Trey wants to get paid like those guys. He needs to step up a little bit. And on top of that, he was going against Okafor, and I said this earlier today. He's going to be one of the worst tackles in the NFL this year. Um, so yeah, yeah, Joe missed one. It was Charlie, unfortunately, running that route, but he missed Charlie a couple times where Charlie is running wide open. Um, so then going through the snap counts even more. Um, the position group I really want everyone to look at. Mike Gesicki had 18. Drew Sample had 27. Um, Eric All had 12. Where is Tanner Hudson? Do they have him on here? Do they already have him cut? Let me. There's Tanner. Tanner had nine reps. People were trying to say Tanner Hudson had more snaps than Mike Gesicki. He did not. Mike Gesicki had double. Drew Sample had the most snaps for the tight end room, which arguably makes sense. He's going to play an H-back role. He's going to chip. Keon White was cooking our O-line a little bit, so it makes sense you want to get the blocking tight end out there. Eric All with 12 snaps. I really do like that. Again, let's maybe cut into his even more, make that 9-0 next week, and not let Tanner Hudson play at all. Let Eric All go. And then here's the players who basically got nothing. Jermaine Burton got 4 snaps. Apparently he was allowed to run one route, but it was a decoy route on the other side of the field, and it was a one-read pass. I need to go find that play again because I don't even remember him running a rep. So I'll probably pull that up in a film room. Then the guys who got no snaps, Travion, then obviously Cody Ford, Matt Lee, backup lineman. KJ Henry, we activated him. He got nothing. Zhang Meta, when you're struggling against the run and you don't give him any reps, I understand he probably wasn't factored in for install, but again, he is probably the best run-stopping linebacker you have on this roster. Joe Bacci got nothing, and this doesn't include special teams. This is just offense, defense. DJ Turner got nothing. Josh Newton, Jordan Battle got none. Tyson Anderson, Dejon Anthony. Obviously, these guys, like I said, special teams isn't accounted for here. So, I mean, looking at this, no real surprises. I think the only thing that bugs me a little bit, if you put Meta out there, he's going to find the ball. He's going to do something. That's just who he is as a player. And then, obviously, McLaughlin was a healthy scratch. I'm forgetting all the other healthy scratches. But you draft a kid in the 3rd round who is a playmaker. I mean, he broke games open for Alabama. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Alabama, the brand is good. Jalen Milroe's not a good quarterback. He wasn't last year, at least. He might take a step forward in his progression. But Milroe could not throw the ball, and Jermaine Burton was making plays all over the place, and he didn't drop a single one. So Jermaine Burton gets less offensive reps than Charlie Jones, Tanner Hudson, Mike Gesicki, which, again, that's at least fair. Trent Irwin gets 33 snaps on offense. And Yoshi leads all receivers with 51, which makes sense because I assume Jamar, being a game-time decision, we didn't have too much for him in the game plan. We wanted to ease him in. So I would anticipate Jamar to have the most snaps out of all wide receivers next week. I think in our week of practice, we eased him in. We just want to avoid some of those like soft tissue injuries. It makes sense. But, yeah, I mean, this is what we're looking at. And we're talking about individual players. Trent Irwin having 33 snaps is nasty. The offense in total only having 51 snaps is terrible. The average offensive snaps in the NFL last year was 64, sorry. So we were 13 snaps under average from last year. So we really could not possess the ball when we had it. We couldn't get the ball back when we didn't have it. And that's kind of how you lose a football game. And we went over it earlier, and I'll go over it again. I'm probably not going to do the telestrator unless you guys really want it. I might as well have it ready to go. I guess I'll give you guys the same thing I did in case anyone wasn't here. Let me get my headset to turn back on here. It'll just take 1 second to do this. Okay. It is a whole elaborate setup I have to do this. It's a nightmare. All right, so there's that, and then I'll go over here to my film room. I'll pop that over here. Full screen it. Where's OBS? There it is. Cool. Come on up, J-Dub. Welcome back, buddy. OBS virtual camera. Starting it. This will just take 1 second to set up. I was more prepared the last time.
I don't know why you doing this. It's Joe over. It's Joe over. We're done. Don't even. We should cancel this. We're done. Joe Burrow's cooked. Jamar cooked. The whole team cooked. It's just over. After one game, man. I can't believe it. It's over, man. Can you believe it's over after one game? Like I don't understand.
I mean, it's not looking pretty after one game. I'll
Pack it
say
up.
that. You think we should pack it up?
It's like no, just like that's what all Twitter is right now. We're over. It's just over. Joe over. I'm surprised I didn't see that. It's Joe over.
It's lucky that you get 16 more opportunities after this one, and this one was very, very bad. Not going to pull any punches there.
You know
Um,
what? I thought we was gonna come back because like ever since that I saw my quarterback come back from 21-3 in the AFC Championship. I don't ever believe we out of a game or we're out of it. Period.
yeah, you kind of have to put up or shut up. That's going to be the motto for this week. You got bullied, you got dominated in the trenches on both sides of the ball. Everyone's trying to cling to PFF to make these five look better. But if you go and you really dig into this all 22, you'll see in the run game, they really weren't generating very many gaps for Zach Moss or Chase Brown. Um, and they really, really struggled with where the quote unquote pressures were coming from. Like, we're not going to count certain pressures and stuff like that, but there were times where Joe, like, let's say the pocket is like this, Joe's back here, pressure comes from up here. Joe can't step up in the pocket and throw, or he's going to get sacked. So now he has to evade out this way or evade out this way. And if you're running if this edge is collapsing and you're running a flood concept going this way and Joe goes over here, now he's going to have to throw back across over the middle of the field. Like, there's little intricacies like that
Zach
where it's just not good.
Zach said they played good. Actually, they said they played good.
Well, Zach Taylor can shut the fuck up. Like,
Did we did we watch the same film? Like
well, Zach trusts the guys we have in the room, right?
I won't saying they was just dogs, huh?
Zach said, "Do you guys think Joe's wrist will affect him on Sunday?" No. I mean, yes and no. I don't think he's at risk of like a re-injury right now. I think maybe some swelling or some discomfort could happen. I mean, it's still healing technically. He's cleared for play, but again, it's just because you're cleared to play doesn't mean you're fully healed and you're fully back. So, yes and no. I think it just depends on how we manage it throughout the week and how his journey of the healing process is going. It'll just take some time. It's like the knee in 21.
It's
That's
like
just
y'all gotta
how I have to
remember
look at it.
too. This is Joe like first time playing that long with the wrist. So the wrist was like, what's going on here? Because Joe never been through that type of
Mm-hmm.
scenario. You can't practice it. So it don't know. It don't matter how many times he did something, but it's not like a real football game. So the body eventually the wrist is good, but
Mm-hmm.
like the wrist is gonna have to getting used to what he's doing. Cause the wrist just say, hey, I'm just coming off surgery, but the wrist familiar, yeah, that trying to get familiar with Joe saying, oh, we're a quarterback and we're gonna have to take hits sometimes. So we're just getting adjusted. He's getting his wrist adjusted to the game.
So this is a wrinkle that I really like this season that we added that I haven't really seen from the Bengals yet. And I think this will be one that'll sorry, it's kind of clipped up at the top here. But it's one I'd like to see us further expand on, especially when we get Mims. I'd like to see Amarius Mims be like a jumbo right here. I can't really see the number. That looks like it's another tight end. I'm going to assume it's 12 personnel, but again, don't really know. But using Eric All in motion, Eric All played at Iowa where they like to run the football. He played at Michigan where they really like to run the football. If you're an Ohio State fan, you know that pain all too well. They motion him across the formation, and you can watch. He doesn't initially get a good block. He misses his edge there, But as the game goes on and he settles in a little bit, he starts getting much better blocks. And he gets a key one, I believe, on Zach Moss's touchdown run. So I like that they're using him because you can build off of that. So if you're going to run, let's just call it 5 linemen here. You could do basically whatever. You're going to have Eric all here. He's going to motion across. And let's say we've been setting it up where you're going to feed Zach Moss like right here, right? This now sets up a play action where you have a really good athlete right here motioning across that can get a touch here in the flats and just cut straight up field. And if you have a Gesicki or something like that, then you can use him to kind of draw some guys away and draw some attention. You put Jamar over here or whatever. Like, you can do a lot of different things because you have all the different weapons. The pistol is a wrinkle that I haven't seen the Bengals really use a lot. We usually just run like a zone read concept out of shotgun, which doesn't work with our offensive line. And to be entirely fair, neither does the pistol because you got this guy, and this guy, and no shade on any of them, but they are not athletic. Teddy K had a really good block there, actually forcing him over into the guard and helping with the double team. And Joe looks fast. Joe looks very fast this season, which is exciting.
I never seen him run that many times in my life.
I will say the one thing to keep an eye on, he did. I don't think he lost one, but Joe did have an issue controlling the ball when he was running. He would put it in his right hand, the wrist that was injured. So I'm wondering if there's maybe a little bit of a strength issue in the wrist still where he's not grasping the ball as well when he's running. Like the one he was clearly down and they, reversed it and were good. Hell of a catch by Hudson. Whereas that later in the game when you dropped one, you had a fumble. But I do wonder if that might be an issue. Ball security is going to be obviously a huge thing that the team works on this week because if you go -2 in turnovers against the Chiefs, they will run up the score on you. Like they will beat you so bad you don't want to come out and play week 3, even if it is against the Panthers, who are a worse team than the Patriots. Like, don't get it twisted. The Patriots defense is actually very solid. But let's see what the op Kelsey Conway says. Zach Taylor said they will be mindful in bringing Amarius Mims back. Says it's too early to say if T. Higgins or Chris Jenkins will be available this week. Oh, yeah, sorry, the Commanders. Commanders are also worse than the Patriots, in my honest opinion. Yeah, I don't like it, but I understand it. I'm not happy that these guys are dinged up and injured. I want Chris Jenkins to play. I want Amarius Mims to play. I want Miles back. I want him to play. But all in all, it is better to let those guys fully heal instead of risk a more serious injury. Zach asked, who do you guys want to see play wide receiver 3 on Sunday? Here, I'll answer it real quick. Here's the first number. Do you want the second number?
It's going to be 0, but we all want it to be 1.
This is who's going to play it right here. There's your wide receiver 3. This is who I want to play wide receiver 3.
Yo, Brady, can you hear me?
I can.
So quick question. We had 53 offensive snaps yesterday?
51, I think, yes.
51. Okay.
51 according to Pro Football Reference. So I'm just going to trust their numbers.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
Yeah. Because I do think if we look at a positive, I know we didn't take really many deep shots, but we did. It wasn't like, Burrow dropped back 45 times. It was 29. I mean, it may have been more than 29 dropbacks, but 29 pass attempts is what we had. And looking at that, and let's just say we did hit on 3 or so three or so 20+ yard, completions. I think this game looks really different. I think the run game works a lot more in that case. The play action works a little bit more in that case. So I think if we just push the ball downfield just a bit more, like I said, I'm not asking for 8 to 10 deep shots. I'm saying 3 or 4 more, shots of 20 yards or more. I think, we look at a completely different game.
I think this was the breakdown right here. It was 51 snaps. I think we had 33 attempts and we had 19 runs. So not quite 50-50. That's closer to probably like 60-40, I think. I'm not too good at math. I didn't go to school for math, so.
I see, and I still think I don't think that's horrible. Like, obviously, a lot of that is due to going 3 and out, which is why we have like such a low play count. Usually, I think we'd be in like low 60s for our total play count offensively. But if we're at a 60-40 split, I think we all as a fan base are happy with that because it means we're not just putting the pressure on Joe to win or all the receivers just to win,
I just asked my accountant wife. That is 64% right there. That's how many times we threw compared to run, which obviously running 36%, which again is still trending way upwards from last year. Way up. And feel free to screenshot any of the all 22. I know LJS got a good one where I wrote that the entire defense was ass and I put arrows to everyone who sucked. But I know the all 22 is a little bit scarce to come by. I think it'll be available for everybody tomorrow. I'm not sure why I'm special and I have it early, but thank you, NFL. Thank you for making me miserable. I've watched it like 3 or 4 times today.
Charlie really was open majority of this game. Joe do not fuck with Charlie at all.
Oh no. He trusts Charlie. He just he really doesn't trust Jermaine Burton. Jermaine Burton's the problem.
See, I don't like to be. I'm not a negative person. Like, just by default, I gotta be positive about it. And my positive take on this is that Joe is a great film watcher. And I think he's going to see these things and he's going to capitalize on them as we go forward through this season. And that's all I can look at it and say, because he didn't look downfield. And I think he's going to look at this film and say, I wasn't aggressive enough. And that's on me. I think he's great at accountability.
I think so too. And again, it really sucks that you don't get, maybe a more on par matchup next week. You get a matchup with the defending champs. But again, maybe that's what this team needs. They got punched in the mouth. Maybe they overlooked the Patriots a bit. I know a lot of our fan base is still overlooking the Patriots, saying that they are a bottom 2, bottom 3 team in the NFL. Did you not watch the Giants lose to Sam Darnold? Did you not?
I mean, we just watched the Giants. The Titans lose a stupid game. We just watched the Panthers, who are horrible, and the Broncos, who are also absolutely trash. Like that's 5 teams on the bottom right there.
The Patriots, I'm going to say this. I don't think they're going to be this year's Texans. I don't think they have that kind of skill level. But I do think that's a team that's going to win a couple games that they have no business winning. I think they're like a 6, 7, 8 win team at the peak is 8. I think 6 or 7 wins is like a pretty solid year for them, and they wouldn't be upset. But this is something I just like, we're talking about Drew Sample's snap count. He led all tight ends in snaps. So right here, we're leaving him in to help chip. Is that Keon over there? Probably, but he's in to chip and help out Orlando right here. So instead of staying in to block, he does a chip and then release. He's just the emergency out here, right? So if Burrow's wanting to move quickly, that's fine. Moving quickly is better than moving slow and getting killed. Let's pause. I know he just threw the ball over here, and I think that's Zach Moss with a really bad drop. There's nobody here. And if you use an Eric All in this situation, again, this is like everyone's going to call it the emergency route, the fire route, whatever you want, the oh shit route in case of emergency. My coach would always yell at a quarterback for using this route when I played in high school. But the thing is it's free yards on 1st and 10. And the only thing that matters on first down isn't picking up the next first down. It's setting you up for second down to pick up the next first down. So instead of dumping it off to a guy right here who is not a pass catching threat at all. Zach Moss is not a receiving back. That's what Chase Brown is here for, and you didn't use him properly. Just get it over to this guy if you're wanting to move quickly, because again, like Drew Sample's not great. He can get 5-6 yards. That's a positive gain instead of going back to second and long. Or even better, use Eric All right here and just let him make someone miss. Let him use his athleticism that he clearly has, that we've all seen. Just a block and release to go pick up a free 5, 6, 7, 8 yards. Like, if we're wanting to move quick, then move quick the efficient way. Do what Tom Brady do. Okay, cool. The defense fooled me. They had everyone kind of blanketed. This throw right here presented itself too late. This throw right here covered. Obviously it looks like Jamar's open. He really wasn't. They're flying up because the ball's here. This throw was covered. So your options are either get it out to your tight end to pick up some free yards or get it over here. I would just rather you have the tight ends on the roster. Just use them. Use the tight ends that you have and, set yourself up. The Bengals over the past couple seasons, when we win on first down, and a first down win is picking up 5 or more yards, we are the most efficient offense in the NFL if we get over a 5-yard gain on first down. And, that's a stat that obviously every team wants to win. But even though other teams desperately want that, when we do, we're just so much more deadly and efficient. And we're even more so when we pick up the first down. So, again, just make your life easier, Joe. I have no issues.
When you're in second and short, that's when you take your shots as well.
Exactly.
It's a free play. So,
exactly. It's a free play because you're thinking, you know what, 3rd and 1, we can pick this up on the ground. Every good offense should be able to pick up a 3rd and short or a 4th and short. Yeah, exactly. 2nd and short, especially if you get your run game going, which to this point in the game, let me check and see what they say here. It looks like this is in the second quarter. Your offense still wasn't going yet. But if you have the run game going, you have a play action shot dialed up that you can kill someone with. So, again, you have Drew Sample right here. He's going to chip. He gets a great chip. He gets some ribs there. You got a free release out there, and he's going to go pick up 6, 7, 8 yards. Get him the football. Get your playmakers the football in space. I don't care about your depth of target on every single play, because if you're going to kill a team checking it down, they're going to present you with an opportunity later to kill them over the top. And Tom Brady did that his entire career. How many game-winning drives did we see him go on where he didn't throw the ball any further than 10 air yards? That's when Joe Burrow's at his best, and I understand everyone's frustrated about him not going deep. When he did go deep, he had moderate success. Mike Gesicki dropped one that's classified as a deep throw. Jamar caught one that's also classified as a deep throw. I think the only other deep throw he missed.
No, he threw one to Irwin, and he threw one to Yoshi, which was a penalty, which I count as a success.
Yeah, it's a success. Yeah, it doesn't really show up on the stat sheet, but you're absolutely right. He drew a DPI, and it's 15 yards, first down. Cool. And he was effective when he threw the ball deep. He did miss some guys, and that's okay. Joe's not going to be perfect. First game back, he's a little worried about the wrist. You can see it, but I think he took a couple shots in the game. I think he'll feel better. He'll be fine. He's a mentally tough guy. We had a relatively good balance compared to years past. If you go watch the Rams game, I think we are closer to throwing the ball 80% of the time in that one with an injured Burrow. 60-40 is a fine split. There's no complaining about that. Because if you're a true 50-50 offense, then you have no reason to be paying Joe Burrow that money. You're paying him that for the extra 10% where you drop back to throw. So it's again, there's some personnel questions. I put it out on Twitter. I really question our personnel decisions. I love the setup of the screen pass, and the screen pass killed them because they were over aggressive on the D line all day. You should have kept calling them until they settled down. But here, watch the design of this one. I fucking love this play, and you got Eric All right here too. And I love that he stays in on his block on the backside. A lot of times you'll see tight ends and offensive linemen quit on their blocks and just really sell, or they try to act that it's not a screen. and it's really easy to see. Eric All, like, staying in there to block really sells the whole screen pass, for me at least. So it's just like a little thing that he deserves some praise for as a rookie. But
Eric Hall has done nothing but shown positives throughout his entire. Every time he's been on the field, I feel like we've seen a positive to point out about him. Like that's just how you get more snaps, and it needs to reflect in the following weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's going to take Joe. Maybe it'll take him another week or two to get comfortable in the pocket, to start launching it deep again. Like, we didn't give Jamar too many deep shots. And again, maybe if
We
that's
didn't
T.
give him any
Higgins.
shots at all. It was 6. We only gave him 6 targets.
Well,
he was only
and
targeted 6 times.
Well, and he also, when I say shots, we didn't let Jamar really go deep at all. I think he had one deep route. I need to find the NGS on his route tree because it was not very impressive.
That's what I don't. I said, why do we wait? Like, everybody. Okay, I get it. Everybody know Jamar is our premier wide receiver, but that don't stop any other teams from going to their number one. Like, why do we hesitate to go to Jamar every time? We seen Jamar break out of tackles time and time again, but it's like, nope. Like, we know they're gonna double team. We're not going to him at all.
Yeah.
Like
I
that.
just
Like
watched
what?
Cooper Kupp get 21 targets. Like, there's no reason Jamar
That's
And
can't
you're
get
not
six.
finna tell me
disgusting.
Cup wasn't double team, triple team, cloudy.
Well, he really wasn't. They were putting Cup on the inside, and they were giving him option routes, which again, we were clamoring. Like, here, let me pause it real quick. And like, if we're talking about option routes, like, let's make sure my cursor's here. We'll just call this your O line. My graphic's gonna suck. Sorry, guys. And we want to put Joe back there. You want to either have an H or a running back. Let's say you put whatever receiver out here solo. You can put Jamar here, Gesicki here, and then just, maybe Burton out here or whoever, right? Let's say this is T. You want him to go clear. Give him post route, see what he gets. You want Burton to go, draw some attention on the outside. You can have Gesicki run whatever you want. You can have him run a whip. You can have him run like a curl, whatever. But if you have Jamar right here, most of these outside corners over here aren't going to travel into the slot. Not a lot of guys like to do that. So his matchup's either going to be an LB, a safety, or a nickel. And if that's the case, we saw it once. The one big Jamar completion we saw was him lined up against the safety, Jabril Peppers, and he killed him. And we saw Mike Hilton, who's a nickel, last year play against George Pickens, and Mike Hilton got killed by George Pickens. Nickels are specialty corners that are not necessarily good enough to play on the outside. Maybe a rep, maybe two, but consistently you want your nickel to stay in here. And the reason why, guys like we could say Amon-Ra St. Brown and Cup are so lethal is because you're putting all of them right here in the slot. So you have Cooper Kupp now lined up against a linebacker, cough, Logan Wilson in the Super Bowl, or a Mike Hilton, or a Von Bell, or a Jesse Bates. And, a lot of teams like Justin Jefferson, for instance, is now getting moved right here into the slot because it gives him a better matchup. Instead of just taking your best player and saying, you know what, you're going to play out here, and now you got Jair Alexander, and we're just going to cancel each other out. Why am I going to give the defense that opportunity to just cancel out my best player? I'm going to move him in here. This is recorded.
All right, I'm going to need you to send this clip to the Bengals front office, and maybe they need to watch this because they have a hard time on Sundays.
And that's the issue though with the Bengals. In my opinion, this is what I see, and I could be dead wrong. I think they're just too prideful. I think they want to win their way, and because there's the whole stigma against slot receivers. Like, think about Michael Thomas. They call him slant boy. Like, okay, well, if you know he's running a slant, then go fucking stop him. And nobody did that season. He killed everybody just running slant routes. Like, are we going to kill a running back if all they do is jump cuts and they're averaging 6-7 yards a carry? Fuck no, because that's what wins you football games, and that's what we're here for at the end of the day. So the Vikings are doing these fun things. Like Kevin O'Connell, who's a play calling mastermind, is moving Justin Jefferson, into the slot. He's putting him back outside. He'll motion him into the backfield, and he'll use him on different running back routes. He'll give him different looks, and you'll see it with Bobby Slowick with the Texans too. They gave Stephon Diggs a carry yesterday in the backfield. These new offenses, all the offenses we can think of being elite, they're all doing these things, and they're doing more with their talent, and we're doing less with our talent. So that's the thing. Cooper Kupp is getting better matchups because he's lined up here, and he now, depending on where this defender is, let's say it's a linebacker, if the linebacker is playing outside, he's going straight inside. He's going to get the ball, and then he's going to cut up the field and just take what he can get. If he's playing inside, Cooper's going to cut outside. He's going to get up the field and take what he can get. Or, if he sees them playing off, he's just going to sit and he's just going to take what he can get. And that's how they move the football so effectively. That's how the targets work there. And the thing is we've seen Jamar after the catch be so physical and be able to break these tackles here. Are you telling me you wouldn't want to see Jamar Chase lined up against a linebacker, for instance? Let's say it's who is this guy? Well, that's Jabril Peppers, so that's fine. We'll use Jabril Peppers as an example. He can't cover Jamar Chase. Jamar can do anything he wants in this matchup. Christian Gonzalez, on the other hand, is really fucking good out here, and he's going to get safety help over the top more than likely. So if Jamar wants to go run a go, Gonzalez is going to trail him. The safety is going to come over, take it away. Jamar wants to run a post. Safety is going to take it away right here. The only thing you could really do is maybe run a comeback route, which is all timing based. And guess what? You have no rhythm. He hasn't practiced. So instead of worrying about that, get him lined up against a guy who has no shot at covering him. You're now going to force them to either bring in a nickel, use a linebacker here, bring a safety down. And if they bring a safety down, now they're probably more than likely going to play one higher as zero, right?
It's funny you say all this because as I watch some of these other teams play, you see them come out of break the huddle, running back runs outside and just lines up. And it's not the play, that's not the formation it's called. It's just to see if the linebacker follows. The linebacker follows and lines up over the running back. You got man coverage, and they put the running back in the backfield. They motion their number one into the slot, and they run whatever they want to run against that inside guy on the
here
coverage.
to show everyone what Trim's talking about. Let's just say they break the formation like this. This is going to be your running back. This will be Chase Brown. They're going to break with Chase Brown, and then they're going to bring him back in here. So they're going to show a 5 wide. They're going to motion into either a 3x1, a 2x2, whatever you want. You can probably even run a quads if you really want to. But regardless, you're going to motion into whatever you want. And then, like he said, you're going to have Jamar lined up out here. So we see what motion the defense does. We're reading all of this pre-snap. You can now move Jamar Chase into the slot, and you can move this guy out. So let's say this is T right here. And let's just, he's not number 3, but we'll call him number 3. This is Jermaine Burton right here. So now you're going to motion this guy out. You know what matchup you're bringing. The defense has rules on every play. And if they break it, you're going to see the coaches scramble. They're going to call a timeout. They're going to give you a mismatch. So now you got Jamar against Jabril Peppers, and now you got Jamar running a post, and there's only a single high safety back here.
Correct. Yeah. Usually when you see the defenses are their assignments are number based. So if you look at where he had Jamar T and Burton there, Jamar's considered I know he is number 1, but he's considered the number 1 on the strong side of the formation. So outside cornerback has strong side number 1. Then usually your slot cornerback has strong side number 2. Your safety or a linebacker usually has strong side number 3, which could be either a slot wide receiver or a running back, depending on the formation. So when you motion Jamar inside, it breaks that rule, and now you have a safety on Jamar because the safety or the linebacker is guarding strong side number 3. So at the snap of the ball, Jamar becomes the number 3 wide receiver.
Yep.
Because he's the inside wide receiver, aligned 1, 2, 3 from the outside counting in. And so that's when you get your matchup with Jamar on a slot cornerback, safety, or a linebacker. that's where you get your mismatches, and a lot of teams just abuse that, and that's why you see this cheat motion that the Dolphins run because they're getting
Mm-hmm.
Tyreek Hill in mismatches with safeties. They're also running these motions and snapping the ball as it's breaking the number one and number two. So now you're not only messing up the defense's rules, but you're confusing them as well because now they have to decide at the snap of the ball who was the number 1, 2, and 3 wide receiver.
Yep.
Who's taking this guy if he goes outside? That's when you get your switch releases. Like there's so much I feel like we just don't elaborate on offensively, and there's just so much opportunity there.
Yeah, and now it's the difference in motioning Jamar from outside in is the difference between, like, let's use the Bengals defense since we know our personnel best. That's the difference between him playing a Cam Taylor-Britt right here and him playing a Jermaine Pratt or a Logan Wilson or an ADG or a Von Bell or whoever right here. That's the big difference because this corner out here is not going to travel inside here.
Right, and then if you think about, like, I don't know if you watch a lot of games and you're like, well, how is he wide open? It's because, say Jamar's running, a slow motion in, and by the snap of the ball, he's between T and Burton in that situation. Well, now the outside cornerback's like, do I have T or do I have Jamar on this situation? Or is the inside, the linebacker or the safety that was guarding Jermaine Burton, he's probably on the in-between, like, do I have Jamar because his route started inside, but then he broke outside, so now I have to cover Jamar that he ran inside on a motion, and then he broke up field and ran a corner route, and now I have to cross over 2 other defenders because I probably have maybe, a slant and a dig on the backside with a corner coming on which is, I can't remember the concept name, but you run Jamar on the inside from the number 3, he runs a corner route. Now the corner route's against a safety or a linebacker. That's wide open.
Yeah, and I just wrote it on the screen. You know what some of the best offenses, the most consistent offenses in the NFL do all the time? Pre-snap motions, because that confuses the defense's rules. You have, again, we talked about the 49ers last year. They will move Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, CMC. They'll move all these guys around pre-snap, and it will confuse your defense if you're not prepared for it. So we're moving Jamar, like he just said. It can break the defense's rules. It could also fuck up the defense and who's going to be covering him. Because, again, if you have Jamar on any linebacker and he doesn't win that rep, then you got a problem with Jamar, right? Like, Jamar should beat every linebacker. He should beat every safety, like, in the league. The corner matchups, again, it's the lack of creativity on offense. It's just putting Jamar out here and saying, all right, Christian Gonzalez, we're lining you 2 up, and we're just going to, basically just put an X through this matchup, and now we're counting on Charlie Jones, Trent Irwin, Andre Yosavash. Like, you 3 are going to have to go figure this out for us. That's how you get situations like Tanner Hudson's fumble. That's how you get situations where guys are put in positions, especially T.I., to not do. Like, T.I. he's not that guy. He's not going to create separation. He's going to do his thing. Like, he's reliable, he's steady, but he's just not enough. And Jamar Chase, if you're going to pay him all this money, which they are and they should, and I believe that, move him around the formation. Amon-Ra St. Brown is such a good wide receiver because you can move him all over and he'll get loose on whoever. And it just makes the wide receiver's life a lot easier. It makes your quarterback's life a lot easier. Cooper Kupp won a triple crown just running choice routes from the slot with Matt Stafford. And Jamar is a better receiver than Cooper Kupp. It's just the scheme of the Rams, which is so good. So, all right, well, I'll start the all 22 back up. We just had to talk about that. And Bash, Trim, thanks for filling in on that too. I feel like we kind of covered it. And if anyone has questions, just like put them in the chat or something and we'll like go over it. But that's like more of a inside, like not like a super deep knowledge thing, but that's more just like something you pick up from either sitting in a coach's room or, having your coach scream at you on a Saturday afternoon after you get your doors blown off because you sucked the night before, and been there too many times playing my low-level football.
Pause.
Dude, my football team sucked. Like, I wouldn't say sucked the whole time. We had 2 good seasons, and then we sucked the other 2. But I will say we're on the come up. Iowa's tight end Luke Lachey is actually from my hometown, and he played for my team I played for, which is pretty cool. It's fun to see. So, because up until then, the best player we ever had played for Capital University in Columbus. If you guys know what that is, they are a nothing school.
See, they wasted a Giuseppe McGriddle.
They really did. That's Gesicki's got to hold on to that though. And here's where I feel like everything kind of fell apart. What are we doing here? And this is another like just bonehead football thing. And people are going to bring up coaching, and I've got into arguments with a couple people on the timeline about the coaching. Coaching's supposed to get guys ready. This is a fucking professional athlete who has played football at every level known to man. You need to
Super Bowl too.
You need to understand ball security. That is not a coaching thing. That is a you problem.
Did you see what he said after on why? He said, I just didn't feel like anyone was around me. That is the worst answer you can give in that situation.
So you mean to tell me you have no instincts when you're playing the game?
Well, even if you feel like no one's around you, that doesn't mean just put the ball out. Just give it away. I mean, and another thing about that play is a lot of people in that play, if you watch that play back, if you see who was chasing down the tackle to make the tackle, it was Jamar Chase. And I think that was what that one point we were making is whenever Jamar Chase gets on the football field, he's going to give it everything he has. I don't think he's going to half-ass anything. Jamar's going to give it his all every time he steps on that football field because he wants to win football games.
Watch the top of your screen. Watch Jamar right here on this.
A guy that's in a contract holdout or hold in,
gone,
hustling on a fumble and trying to get making sure he gets a tackle. Nobody else is running like that.
No. And people are talking about Jamar this, Jamar that. Jamar didn't quit yesterday. And that's the one thing. Last year, there were two guys who showed up every single snap they were in for that Browns game. It was Jamar Chase and Joe Mixon.
And Jamar tackled better than our defense did yesterday.
He did.
Yeah. But usually, interceptions is when offensive players get hurt.
Yeah.
That's when guys that are worrying about injuries and getting paid, that's when offensive players get hurt is an interception trying to go make a tackle on a defender because they're not used to tackling. So him hustling to go get a tackle, especially tackling the guy from behind, it's just that just shows me that he wants to win. He didn't give up on the play. And all these people that say he wasn't motivated out there, that throw it out the window because he showed me there that he wants to win football games for Cincinnati. So he also went out there and went 6 for 6, 6 targets, 6 catches.
And you know what? 6 targets, not fucking enough. I get Christian Gonzalez is great, but I don't give a fuck if it's prime Deion Sanders across from Jamar Chase. You look, and right here, you get him in the slot. Bang, right here. Let's see what he does. Immediate route win. And you do miss Charlie Jones deep.
Christian Gonzalez did follow inside there. Yeah. That was in man coverage. He followed the entire game in man coverage. I will say that. But still, that's not, like you said, not a reason not to give Jamar Chase the football.
No. And it sucks because you miss Charlie. It looks like Charlie's running kind of a corner route here. And
if Joe threw that to Jamar earlier, Jamar could have did some work.
Yeah. And that's the thing is Joe is at his best and the Bengals are at their best. Not when Joe's just launching it deep and saying, fuck it, Jamar's down there somewhere. The Bengals are at their best when they're in timing and rhythm, and picking up that first down is the biggest thing for timing and rhythm. And that will come along as the season comes along. And those little routes right there, like you said, it's just a little out route. And, if Joe hits that a bit earlier, Jamar's still running. Instead of that being a 9-yard gain, that could be a 30-yard gain. That could be a house call, whatever. Joe is still a little bit behind on timing because, again, one drive in the preseason is not enough. It's not.
And that's the biggest thing about that last drive and going 3 and out on the last drive of the game when you're trying to put pressure on a team with a team with a rookie coach and you're trying to come back. Getting that first down is what puts pressure on that defense and makes them oh, shit, this is Joe Burrow we're going against. And not getting that first down is just now their offense comes back on the field and you have a chance. But if you get that first down, it's not like the rest of the drive gets much easier because that defense gets tired, one, and two, they're getting nervous because now you know that you're across from Joe Burrow, who is known for this. Like now the coach is telling you like the coach before you went on the sideline said, don't let up. This is Joe Burrow. So when he gets that first down, you're like, oh shit, I'm about to let my coach down.
Trim, can you tell me what you see on this play? It's starting a little bit early or a little bit late into the rep here, but
okay.
Can you tell me what you see here? And I'll give you the other angle too. Let me go ahead and switch to the sideline view. This might help a little bit more. Here you go.
Shoot, I know what you're talking about.
The corner?
What I see on this, when we're starting this route or when we're starting this play, you are motioning Jamar Chase across the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
You know exactly what coverage they're in, and he is going to run a man-beating route, just a quick comeback. You get him the ball in time, and then he's up the field with it. So let's watch it. Let me get that white screen off. Sorry, guys. Here you go. Motions across. Look at the matchup. He's going to pass him off to the corner, but it doesn't matter because he's got the cushion. It's a man-beating route. And again, I get that everyone's going to say, well, the air yards. The air yards don't really matter when you pick up 9 yards like that on first down.
Was this first and 10? Yeah.
It's 1st and 10. What? You just picked it up off a QB sneak, on time, in rhythm, get the ball out.
What's the next play? That's what I want to know. Because if that's second and now if we're looking at 2nd and 1, the next play will tell me what I need to know. It looks like 2nd and 1. I see the down or the.
Yep, this is second and 1, 2nd and short right here. So again, we take a shot. It's not there.
We look for it. It's not there. You get the first down. Like that's why you can do that on 2nd down because you still have a first down route on the field.
Yep.
But
and
you can take your deep shot.
3rd down to fall back on. Yep.
So like you don't have the deep shot, which I mean they probably know that you're probably taking your shot there. But look, it's wide open because you can't guard the deep route and guard the underneath.
No, you have Drew Sample running like a hook route, and he's going to take that linebacker because they do have to acknowledge him, even if he's not a great receiving threat. And you just run a clear right underneath. It's an easy first down. Now you're calling a play action on first. I don't like the decision from Joe there to get Chase Brown killed. Again, it's play action. At the top of your drop, you need to be able to get the ball out and have someone open. So you're hoping there's a little bit of separation. I don't see much in here. And the other problem is you're also leaving in 2 tight ends to block. So you're blocking 7. They only rush
play action,
4.
But if you look at that, like if that's just an under center run, we pick up 8.
Yeah.
Like we didn't run under center. So like they didn't have anything to bite on with the play action.
Yep. And then you come back from an incompletion on first down. You get it to Gesicki. Again, an underneath route because they're taking away over the top. Maybe Burrow can hang in the pocket a bit longer. Let's see it again. This is a good pocket view. Yeah, it's totally clean pocket.
If he would have did some punt fakes.
I mean, Joe can hang in the pocket there, but also Joe wants to take what the defense is giving him and get that timing and rhythm moving. So you pick up, what was that, probably like 6 yards on 2nd down. Now it's 3rd and manageable. Let's see what happens here. And Tanner Hudson drops it. That's a first down if he catches it.
Wait, go back, because that looked like Jamar was open too.
We'll watch it again from the other angle too. Let's watch it from this real quick. Jamar was not open. Jamar got jammed at the line of scrimmage.
The throw might be a little behind him, but that's got to be a catch.
It hits him in the hands,
Yeah.
And this is the play right here. 4th down, you're going for it, and you end up calling a screen. You really calling a screen in that moment, you take the ball away from Joe Burrow. That's just an extension of your run game right there. That's a 3rd down play call.
I'm sorry, even with that play call, I'd be more comfortable. We did that to Jamar Chase. No offense to Yoshi, but it's like
Jamar. That's fair.
If you guys watched the Thursday night football game, the Ravens ran this play. It was maybe a 4th and 1 but they ran it with Zay Flowers. But they didn't get the coverage that they wanted. We got man coverage there. That's what we wanted to see because now that guy that's over top of Yoshi has to go through 2 blockers. Like you're essentially blocking him with the guys that are blocking, which they blocked well enough, but the safety is the one that came down and made the play, not the guy that was over top of Yoshi. So you get the one-on-one that you want, and you just want Yoshi to win. which he didn't. And that's why you want Jamar in that situation, because Jamar's going to win.
How about that for a fucked up wrist? If he isn't interfered with, that's kind of a dime right there. That's a catch. Like, that's a great throw.
Yeah.
And if it's a bad throw, he doesn't get bailed with the flag. But because he put it where he needed to, you get the 15 yards. It's as good as a completion. And now you run the ball. Moss
That
picks
was
up
a good
positive
run.
yards. He gets what, 4 or 5 right there on first down. You live with that. You move on to 2nd and 5. Again, you got Eric All lined up next to Drew Sample. So again, Eric All, great block. Drew Sample, I mean, they kind of run away from them.
They got like 7 there. It's like
7? Okay. Yeah, I'll take it.
Or 2nd and 3. So this should be a shot.
Let's see what we do here. Run it again, but it's there.
Fine. That's fine. We
get
the plays because they're expecting a play action.
And
probably.
You're running the football effectively. And here, let's watch how this offensive line blocks this up again. Again, Sample, All right here. Drew Sample and Eric All both win their blocks in a big way. Here, we'll run it back.
Kappa gets to the second level. He wins on the linebacker, as he should.
Yep. Trent Brown seals his guy right here. Drew Sample.
That hole's wide open.
Yeah,
and then all you ask is Zach Moss to make the last guy miss, which is what he did. Got another 5 yards.
What's Eric All's potential if he stays healthy his whole NFL career? That I cannot answer, but I will say I think he's shown a lot of promise in terms of blocking this game. I want to see him run some routes.
I want to say George Kittle's so bad, but only probably
because they're both Iowa guys.
Yeah. What's the issue here? Is this a bad throw? Just a bad drop?
Let's see it. I like this kind of view to see what happens. So,
play action. You got the block on the backside.
You missed Jamar. That's the first
problem.
When
I was in the stands, I saw Jamar, but I figured, I'm like, all right, maybe he didn't want to go back crossbody.
Which is fair. I feel like right here, if you're Burrow, if this is Burrow when he's feeling comfortable, he's going to set his feet and he's going to throw it across.
Yeah, he's going to rip it. Because he's putting that on in the corner.
It's a bad ball. It hits him in the hands. You want your receiver. He's a pro. He needs to catch that. It's a tough catch. It's not the greatest throw either. So the blame's kind of spread. But, I mean, you had all this open area to hit Jamar on that last one.
Another one dragged to Jamar.
Yep. And he picks up the first.
No, that was Yoshi that was wide open.
No, that was Jamar on the last one.
The one on the back. You see the second level?
Are you talking about on this play right here? Or the one before?
The one before.
Here, watch it again. You'll see Jamar. Because he throws it to Yoshi here.
Oh no! Then it must have been the next play. I know it was like a drag route. It was like 2 levels of a drag route. Then
Yoshi runs like a cross, and Jamar runs right here.
Yeah. You put that in the corner of the end zone, like right at the front pylon. Touchdown. Yeah, all day.
Yeah, it was the next play I was talking about.
Okay.
Or you can even flatten. Like there's so much space over there, you can flatten Jamar out and give him the sideline to work with.
And there he goes right there. See how he moves his hips to sell that out route, and then he cuts back? That's unguardable. And the safety over the top was not in position to make a play.
Yeah,
this is the one right here.
Yeah, Yoshi was 80. Yeah, he was like on the he was on the right side. Yeah, right there. He on the bottom. He's on the bottom
of the screen. All right, let's watch him here. Let's see what kind of route he runs.
Probably a dig. That's what T. Higgins would usually run in this situation. Yeah, that's a T. Higgins route.
Yep.
But it's not polished, but it's open.
No,
I guess.
I think if he stops on a dime a bit harder, like a harder step there, and then cuts, I think Joe's more comfortable throwing that to him.
I think his cut was after the ball was released to Jamar as well. So I don't think, he knew the ball's not coming to him.
He was it looked like he was keeping the safeties kind of back.
Yeah.
So he was trying to keep their attention so someone could run a clear underneath him.
We run that play a lot. I've seen T hit that dig, or Joe hit that dig to T plenty of times. Like that's why T's just so good on that route.
And normally, if you see it looks like Joe looks right, and then he looks left, and then he comes back right again.
Yeah.
normally that works best when you got like a trips or something over here, and then you got T over here, and T runs the backside dig, but then you run all the motion away, or you run them deep, or whatever you want. You run a flood concept, whatever, because then all this attention on the backside guy is going to be gone. That's normally when T can kill somebody. Nice throw there.
I thought this was a great throw. Great.
He laced it right over the DB.
Like, yeah, it was quick pressure. He knew he was hot from the left side linebacker.
Yep. He sees it right there. That's what the helmet tap is. He checks into something when he sees that pressure.
Right. And this is the one, like, we were talking about in the preseason, where Joe sees that pre-snap, whereas Logan Woodside just got hit without looking at it.
And it's perfect. Like, I remember watching that. It went right over the DB's hand. Like,
great catch by Yoshi as well.
Mm-hmm. Again, good pocket presence. Yep. He knows, clock's ticking down. He steps away from the pressure. Again, he's down. Like, here, watch this again. Let's see how it's blocked. Let's kind of watch this. So Trent runs his guy around the outside, which we've seen a lot. He did that a lot against the Browns. We watched that all 22 a couple times. So, and the beautiful thing that's here, I'll kind of do this real quick with the O-line. Let's say we got 5 down. There's no chip or anything. And let's say your QB is right here. If your tackle is able to keep all the pressure around like Burrow's backside, Burrow now has a clear lane to step up and either look for somebody downfield, preferably someone who came left or right, if it's that kind of coverage. Maybe there's a sit route or something. But Trent doing that, they're going to call it a pressure. That's why pressures are flawed stats. So I think he did good on that rep right there, keeping him wide and keeping him to the outside. It gives Joe a clear path to step up and move. Because I feel like the guards were kind of collapsing a little bit there, which they're going to after a certain amount of time. So all in all, that was a pretty solid rep from Trent Brown there. Let me get this back going.
This drive was really good because, like, we were getting positive yards every single play.
Yep.
And that's why this run play hits like it did.
Yep, and that's a first down run on second down.
Yeah. Like, we ran for...
And then look, we motion Eric All, bang.
I think every run on this drive was 5 yards or more.
Yeah. And this is where the point in the game where I'm watching this live, and I don't have the beauty of all 22, but I'm like, the offensive line is kind of starting to lean on the Patriots D-line, not having Christian Barmore, trading Matt Judon, not having a true edge rusher outside of Keon. Like, I was like, all right, we're establishing the run. If the defense gets a stop here, after we score this touchdown, we're in good shape.
Right.
So, I mean, just watch Eric All. We motion him out and we motion him back. He gets momentum and he just fucking cracks this guy. And it's a great block. And that's the shit you love to see out of your tight ends. Like, don't shy away from contact. Go fuck somebody up. Bang, right there.
He loves that block, though. He loves that block.
I love that. I love that when we do that in the offensive scheme.
That's his favorite block in his life. Like, first time he did that in his life, he was like, oh, I love that. That's my favorite thing.
He just killed some kid. Bang, right there. He does it again.
I'm still hurt. They still lied to us about this, honestly. And they had us all excited in the all-season just to do this.
And you'll see, he doesn't get it as cleanly here because the guy's right here. He shies away from the contact. See how he shies away? That opens it up.
He just got killed.
He just got smacked. He threw the body around. So now he's like, I don't want to play this as tough. I don't want to take another one of these shots. This looks like the same fucking play. We just ran it again.
The first one we ran out of pistol. The second one we ran out of shotgun. Same play,
yeah.
Inside zone.
Yeah, very similar concept, especially at the pulling tight end. And, I mean, that's the kind of attitude you need to have as an offensive play caller is, again, if it's working and if you see a guy is excelling at something, put them in a position to succeed. And I think we did that so well with Eric All. bring that same energy to a guy like Jermaine Burton who can lift this offense to another level.
Right. I mean, and if we look at that, like that play and the guy shying out the way, we're talking about the 9th, 10th play of this drive.
Yep.
We're talking about it being hot in the fourth quarter. Like this guy's tired. He doesn't want to get hit like that at all.
I got a question for y'all. Was I the only one that was nervous when McPherson kicked that 50-yarder?
I wasn't nervous.
It felt like one of those days where he just misses the 50-yarder. That's how it felt to me. Because that's just how the day was going. It's like, all right, we finally got a chance to get some points on the board, and no.
I was watching him pregame, and I've noticed something with McPherson. If he's missing some pregame, he's normally locked in come game time. It's when they're tweeting pregame, like, oh, McPherson's hitting from 67. Like, watch out for him today. And then it's like he shanks like a 48-yarder, and it's like, what the fuck, man? But he was pulling things a little bit, and you could see him like kind of working on it like pregame. So it's like, okay, I think he's going to kind of be dialed here. And I mean, thank God, because if he misses that, they get great field position. But Tom Pelissero just said the Steelers are signing safety Terrell Edmonds from the Jags practice squad. So maybe there's an injury, not sure.
Wasn't he on the Steelers before?
I think he was, yeah. And Jamar's wide open again, talking about a hurt wrist and how's Joe feeling? This is the third quarter. We're down a couple scores.
Oh, that's what the play he was talking about. I remember on the presser, he was like, it was this play where he wanted to hit him early, so he probably could have outran safeties, but like Joe threw it to protect him because he saw that safety coming in. I think that's the play he was talking about. If he would do that, Jamar just go up.
Jamar was a little bit frustrated about that play, but I see why Joe made the throw he threw, and I think Jamar may have also saw that. And once you get to film, you see it and you say, okay, I appreciate you making that throw that way. You know,
don't give me a hospital ball week 1.
Right.
If it's the Super Bowl or the AFC Championship, you got to have it. Sure. And then other kind of football related news, Deshaun Watson is now being sued again for a sexual assault.
That's not football related.
So it's not, but it is division rival related.
Deshaun Watson doesn't play football. I just watched him yesterday. That wasn't football.
That's true. That was fucking ugly yesterday. But yeah, so Deshaun Watson, potentially another suspension, maybe a ban. We never know. I wonder if the Browns are trying to push that to get him off the contract because he's fucking bad.
What was the penalty count list this game? Do you remember?
No, but I can pull that up though.
I don't remember us having many flags, if any. I know the one.
We had a couple.
The 12 men on the field with Jamar. I remember that one.
And everyone's making a big deal about that one.
Okay, yeah, whatever. I don't remember anything else.
We had we had 2 penalties for 10 yards. They had 5 penalties for 40.
2 for 10 yards. Like that's what we do. Like that's good. Great.
Yep. You can the penalties, great. Keep that going. You can deal with 2 for 10 every week. The fumbles, gotta fix that. That's all mental shit. And the special teams, you also gotta fix that too, because like Charlie Jones fielding a punt inside the 10 a couple times, the fumble, like those are the hidden yards that aren't going to show up anywhere that really fuck you up.
Yeah. That sheesh, man. Oh, man.
You know why we play like this every week?
That punt fumble. That punt fumble is everything. Like the one he fumbled on a punt return is just they're so derailing. We come out of halftime, we get a stop. I'm like, all right, we're about to lock in.
Yep.
And he fumbles that punt. The initial drive. Like you give him 3 points.
Joe got to cut them sleeves off his shoulder pads, looking like Tom Brady.
Yeah, further clarification, he's being sued. The latest case is arising from an alleged incident in October 2020. It accused him of sexual assault and battery while on a date. So it is a little more serious than previous ones because the battery charge and sexual assault charges are both I think they're a little bit higher classified than what he is previously being sued with. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but
Did you
not
see
very
what he
good.
said after losing? I don't know. Maybe it wasn't a real quote, but he said back in 2018 we went 0-4 and then won 11 straight. So we'll see what happens. I said,
Deshaun Watson, Ashley. Deshaun Watson is being sued for sexual assault and battery again. So I think that how many cases was he at? 24 or something?
something like that.
It's like 25, 26. Yeah, he might break 30 by the time he's done in Cleveland. Like, this is getting real fucking gross really quick.
This is the last drive of the game, isn't it?
I believe so.
Oh no.
I wonder, did they ever go back to watching Joe Burrow games at LSU to see what type of formations and plays they was running?
You know what they did at LSU when he had success? They ran primarily out of shotgun with 3, 4, 5 wide. They had Thad Moss, Terrace Marshall, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and that was their primary offensive personnel. Their offensive line wasn't the greatest. I was actually going back last week and watching previous LSU. They did a lot of quarterback draws with Joe, a lot of not zone reads, but I guess you could call it that, a read option. He would hand it off a lot of times, but on some crucial like 3rd and 4th downs, he would keep it. And that just opened up everything all over the field. And the route trees for Justin and Jamar were crazy. And of course, when you have JJ and Jamar taking attention away, they're getting double team, triple team. Terrace Marshall would eat over the middle of the field. That LSU team was a nightmare to go against, even if their O-line wasn't that great. Go watch that Alabama game they played, and it's one of the most fun games I've ever seen. And to check down to Zach Moss.
So successful. Who was they majority of the targets going to?
I think it was pretty evenly split back then. He would just
my
spread the
point
ball.
Is like they got it to their star players.
Yeah.
They didn't force it to Terrace Marshall, McMath. I'm not saying they weren't good, but it's like we just make it more difficult than what it has to be.
So I know there's 3 minutes on the clock here. So this is the 2-minute drill, and you are down 6. So you have the opportunity to go win the game. 2-minute drill means you're not going to run the football, like at all. That just takes too much time. So we talk a lot about Mixon not being in the Super Bowl with the game on the line. Everyone says who gives a fuck about the pass blocking and all that fun. And we had P. Ryan in for pass blocking reasons. We make the same mistake right here with 31 because 31's in the game instead of 30, who is a better receiving back, who is more explosive, who is more of a mismatch for these linebackers. Zach Moss is your between the tackles, got to have it like 3, 4, 5, 6 yard run kind of guy. And then eventually he'll break the dam. He is not a receiving threat at all. At all. He had 2 drops yesterday. So let me get this out of the way. And watch him here. It looks kind of almost like a Texas route. Let's see. No, he just goes straight up the middle. Joe checks it down, which again, check down, frustrating. You catch that there. It's now 3rd and 5. And this upcoming check down doesn't matter as much. Looks like you got Jamar top of your screen right here. Jamar is pretty well covered. Joe's got to check it down. Let's see if anyone else is open. Let's see if you missed anybody here. So I know everyone's wanting to kill Joe about this. So let's see. So we just saw Jamar top of the screens covered. Let's see your tight end and your 2 wide receivers. Tight end stays in the block. You have nobody open there. So you have to check the ball down to get positive yards. Or hold it and risk a sack when you're already backed up near your own goal line. So again, this is an issue that I hope doesn't keep going. Let's do some quick math real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're leaving 7 guys in to block 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you're counting your QB, that means you have 8 guys of your 11 back at the line of scrimmage, essentially, which means you only have 3 routes going on down here versus 7 guys dropping into a zone. So the issue with max protecting here is you are now at a massive disadvantage if your route schemes aren't on point. And spoiler alert, they really were not on point yesterday. And so now you can literally, with this, you can double team everybody who's out there. And you could triple team one person. So you're not going to win matchups if this is your offensive scheme. I understand if you want to leave an extra guy in to chip and block. I'd understand leaving 6 in. But maybe instead of leaving him here and having to double chip to help both of your tackles, one of which you just gave the largest signing bonus in NFL history, and one who is one of the better pass rushers or pass protectors. I get he had a bad game yesterday by his standards, but you're now leaving in a double chip. Your center is, doing his thing, keeping his eyes on both sides here, but you're not going to get any action or deep shots down the field if nobody's open. Like, again, you can bang that throw in there to Charlie, but that's a risky throw.
I'm nervous, man. I'm so nervous about this week.
There's nothing to be nervous about because whatever's going to happen happens. And if it's ugly, we knew it. And if we win, how the fuck did the Chiefs let us win? You're in a win-win situation.
I'm just thinking about their corners. Like, if we can't get up, well, I'm not saying it's scrub. Who was the corners on the Patriots? It was Douglas and Gonzalez, right? Who was
it's Christian Gonzalez, Marcus Jones, and
Jonathan Jones.
And that's a good trio of corners.
Yeah, what Brady is saying is we're in the same situation the Patriots were in last week. We either lose the game like we're expected to, because we're 6-point underdogs right now, or we go out there and win. Everybody's like, "Oh shit, the Bengals are actually legit."
And
but nobody expects us to win. Everybody's writing us down as 0-2. So what do we have to lose?
And you'll see the all 22 stops there because you punt the ball away and you never get it back. So that's kind of the story of the offense's day. You punt the ball away with an opportunity, and before the Patriots either score or give it back, they've already taken 6-7 minutes off the clock. And
now, although Joe did throw that underneath, which we obviously seen the play, we thought there was an opportunity for a shot down the middle on the double move routes. Or I don't know, third down was the out route to Jamar, one of those. Anyways, we thought he had a play rather than just the underneath pass to Zach Moss for 5 yards. Is part of that, do we not think part of that, Joe taking that is like, I have a shot on 4th down, so it's not 4th and 10?
Well, and that's what Zim and I talked about. Zim said, I'm used to seeing Joe like hold on to the football, try to make a play, try to do something. And I was like, but in my eyes, that's Joe playing smart football. He gets what he can get from the defense. And now it's 4th down, backs against the wall. We're going to plant our flag here. It's live or die with me. And Zach takes the ball out of his hands, says the defense is going to get a stop in. Newsflash, the defense didn't get a stop, even when they knew the run was coming, because that's the story of the entire day.
Right. So, I mean, at least that's kind of what I was thinking the entire time. Like, yes, Joe could hit the deeper shot, but part of me is like, Joe's plays smart football sometimes, and Joe's probably out there like, I got 4 downs to get us a first down. Or after we don't get anything on 1st down, we don't get anything on 2nd down, he's probably in his head like, I got 2 downs to make this happen, or we're going home regardless. Yeah. And so, give me something on 4th down if I don't see what I want to see. Let me make sure I get something because I'm coming back out here for one more snap, and I'm going to get these 5 yards. Yeah. So 4th down is when we would have saw Joe go into live or die mode. Yeah.
And that's what we screamed about all offseason. And that's where I'm a little disappointed in the Bengals fan base is we've all said all offseason, Joe's getting injured. He's got some things piling up. Like maybe he needs to just play a bit more conservatively, play a bit smarter, avoid some of those shots. It is week 1 of a 17-week season on a 3rd down. Yeah, the game is on the line, but you do have 4th down to fall back on. You don't need Joe living and dying out there every single down, every single play. And I think that was part of his growth and maturation, was showing, I'm willing to check it down here because then I know we have a fourth and manageable. We can call up something different. They're not going to want to give up a big shot over the top. So we can take something underneath, let our receivers yak, get a first down, and now we got some momentum. Now we're rolling. And instead of doing that, we take the ball out of his hands. Defense fails to get a stop, and that's the end of the game. And the drive before this, we were moving the ball relatively well. The drive before that, we were moving the ball well. And I get 10 points. It looks bad, but 10 points is a little deceiving. I think if I remember counting correctly, I think we only had 6 drives in this game. And, we had 6 or 7 drives. Like, we did not have that many drives because the Patriots controlled time of possession, controlled the clock by running the football effectively, and they had no threat of a passing game all day. And, that fucks with your offense's rhythm. I mean, we do it to Patrick Mahomes. We've done it to him before, where we sit there and we keep the ball from him and we don't let him get into his flow, get into his rhythm. And, we do everything we can to milk the clock, to avoid 3 and outs, to keep Mahomes off his rhythm. Well, the Patriots just did that to us. And I feel like we kind of, at times, especially last night, we're letting the defense off the hook. And in all honesty, I feel like the majority of this blame, I get the first half falls primarily on the offense. I think the second half, the offense was not as bad as people are making it out to be. I think we had 4 drives and we scored on 2 of them. And that's honestly not terrible. You take away a bad 4th down play call here, or, you know what I mean? If Gesicki holds on to a ball, if Tanner Hudson doesn't fumble, now you're looking at scoring before going in half. And now you're coming out, even if the Charlie Jones fumble's a thing, it's now a 13-7 game and you're getting the ball back, or a 10-7 game and you're getting the ball back. And that looks a lot better than having to go score and then having to go score again. And, going score for score against a team who's just killing your defense all day. So, look, it's a long season. Joe didn't re-injure himself, which is a great positive. We found a punter, which is a great positive. I think Jay Tufele showed some stuff yesterday. I think Jamar was Jamar. We just didn't get him the ball enough. We didn't target him enough. Even if Gesicki didn't catch that touchdown, I like that he showed what he can do for a red zone offense. The offensive line started to lean on them a little bit. It's personnel mistakes. I think it's lack of creativity offensively. I think it's all things that can change and will adjust as the season goes on. But that's kind of it. I mean, Trim, J-Dub, you guys got anything you want to say before I close it up?
No, I'm just ready to move on to KC.
Well,
I'm ready to put this game in the F5 folders.
I think tomorrow is the fuck it, we move on day. I think tomorrow's where we're going to watch some Kansas City. So.
And I just hope we just learn from our mistakes and just do better. Because I know the whole fan base, we expect better from this team. So it's just when they don't play up to our standards, that's why we all crashing out. But again, like we said, it's week 1. Everybody just breathe. Like Joe said, one of his press, just breathe.
Yep.
We'll be all right. As long as we got 9, I have faith. As long as we got 9.
You are correct. Trim, you got anything you want to say, man? He might be busy, but.
What did you say? I'm sorry. I was watching Dan Orlovsky's, what he was talking about.
Oh, no, you're good. I just said I didn't know if you had anything you want to say before I close it up for the day.
Oh, nope, I don't. I think I said enough.
All right,
on
man.
to Kansas City.
Yep, tomorrow I think we're going to watch a little bit more Chiefs stuff. This game's kind of fuck it. Maybe we'll reference it and kind of watch some try to watch the good stuff instead of nitpick all the stuff that went wrong. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, we're on to Kansas City. But I'll talk to you boys tomorrow. Have a good one, guys.
Right.
Who day?
See you. Yep.
Who day?